So, welcome to lesson number 5 of this free 5-part course series on salary negotiation. This particular lesson is going to be about the two major mistakes people make during the salary negotiation process. And then at the end, after I give you the two major mistakes, I will share with you your next steps, the recommendations for the next steps that you need to take. So let's just have a recap of what we've been through. Lesson 1, we went over the value or how valuable salary negotiation is to you and to your career, and how that can help you grow your income over a period of time, generally until your retirement age. The second lesson, we learned about the 6 hidden truths about salary negotiation, and I shared with you how you can actually increase your salary by more than 10 times in throughout your career. So I shared that in lesson number 2, as well as one major benefit that can actually help you grow or double your salary in a very short period of time. In lesson 3, I shared the two major reasons why employers are going to give you a raise, and these two reasons are how you show your value in the workplace. And then we now went into the nitty-gritties of salary negotiation. These are the three key stages of salary negotiation. There is the preparation, which is very important, the actual salary raise conversation which you have with your boss, with your employer, as well as the follow-up stage, which is also very critical. And I shared a pro tip on how you can make sure that you secure the new raise that you have gotten. If you have not gone through any of these lessons, I strongly recommend that you go through them and then you come in and get into this particular lesson. So we are going to go into the two major mistakes of salary negotiation. These are the mistakes I see most people doing, and they're the ones which sabotage your earnings, or how much you will earn in throughout your career. And then I'll give you two steps for two steps that you can follow up after going through this particular lesson. So my name is David Karanja. I'm the founder of Crane Consulting House, as well as the course creator of the salary negotiation mastery course. So I will take you through, I've been taking you through all these lessons. So let's jump into the two major mistakes in salary negotiation. Mistake number 1 that I've seen is never asking for a raise. This is the most common that I've seen. For some reason, people believe that their bosses are just going to magically see their value, and more often than not, your boss is not going to come out of the blue and give you a raise. And you need to actually take the initiative to go and ask for a raise from your boss. So this mistake has various reasons. There's various reasons why people do this mistake or commit this mistake. Maybe you do not know what to say. Maybe you're afraid of something in the company, or of being fired, or you do not believe you provide great value to your company, which is not the case, because if you've been employed, then chances are you're providing value to your company. Or you may also not know that asking for a raise is an acceptable part of your career. So one thing you need to remember is that if you do not ask, you do not get. Most employers will not give you a raise without you asking, or out of the goodness of their heart. This is very important for you to know. If you remember, in lesson number 1, I shared with you a truth. In lesson 1, yeah, I shared, actually lesson 2, we learned the truth. Truth number 1 was, you do not earn what you deserve, you earn what you negotiate. And I told you about a book written by a certain professor, Chester Karas, in 1994, who said that in business as in life, if you do not earn what you deserve, you earn what you negotiate. So it's very important that you know that you have to ask for the raise. Employers will not come out of the blue to give you a raise. And if they do that, and of course there are times when that happens, what is going to happen is he'll give you a raise that is probably lower than what you should be earning. So the other mistake, which is the one which most people do, I have seen all the time, is talking about your financial or your personal problems during negotiations. And so you become courageous and you go for a negotiation. And the truth is, if you've seen, at no point have I shared that your personal problems or your financial problems are going to help you get a raise. In fact, the truth is, these problems are in everybody's life, and many times these problems require money to solve them. However, whether or not you have problems is not going to be a factor in you getting a raise. In the mind of your employer, the finances they give you are adequate. They should be adequate based on the value that you contribute to the company. Therefore, if you are to receive a raise, it's up to you to talk about the contribution and value you bring to the company. Do not talk about the problems you have or you're going through which require money, as this diminishes your value in the eyes of your employer. And this is very important. A lot of people make this mistake, and this is why in lesson number 3 of this free course I shared how to know how to the two major reasons why employers are going to give you a raise. And one raise the employer is going to give, and those two reasons are how you establish your value. So it's important that you remember this particular mistake and avoid it at all costs. And I will give you a quick case study. Pam, not her real name, but Pam is a friend of mine, and her mother actually, Pam became my client and I helped her get a raise, and it was all well and good. And her mother, who had not been to an interview for some time, actually what Pam did is give her mother the course material for the full salary negotiation mastery course, and she went through it. And this particular issue of not talking about her financial problems helped her during that particular negotiation. The other thing which helped her was knowing on preparing for the raise, knowing her contribution, knowing what to say during that job interview, and showing her contribution in her new job. And that was very, very helpful. She prepared and she knew her value. That's the first thing. And the second thing is she did not go and talk about her financial problems, and that actually helped her get a really good salary. So it's important for you to remember, a lot of people make this mistake, as well as not asking for a raise, but they make this mistake of talking about their problems, and this is not going to help you at all. So therefore, you need to know your value. You need to know what your contribution is in the company, and this is what's going to help you in the workplace. So the next thing we're going to do, let's go over the free course that we've done. This is the end of the free 5-part series. However, there is some next steps which I'm going to recommend to you. The first thing is, let's have a recap. We've already learned how valuable negotiation is to you. The second thing, we've learned the hidden truths of negotiation, and I showed you how you can grow your earnings by 10 times. The other thing, we learned how you can double your salary in a very short period of time. So you can grow your salary by 10 times or more throughout your career, but you can double your salary in a very short period of time. And that's in lesson 2. Lesson 3, we go over the 2 major reasons why employers will give you a raise. And then lesson 4 are the 3 key stages of negotiation: preparation, the actual conversation, and the follow-up stage. And then the final lesson, this one, we've talked about those 2 major mistakes of negotiation. Those major mistakes are the ones which actually, I think, my personal estimate, people, 90% of people, 90% of employees do those 2 major mistakes. So the first step, the first of the next steps I will tell you to do is go over this free course again and take your time to do the homework that I've been sharing in each one of the lessons. That's very, very important, and that can actually help you. Now, if you want to go deeper in knowing how to master negotiation. I promised in the previous lessons that I'll share a little bit about the salary negotiation mastery course, the full course. So I'll give you a breakdown very quickly, and it's up to you. You can go over this course and use it, as well as decide, okay, I want to go deeper. So let's just quickly go over the salary negotiation mastery full course. So this course has 6 modules, and each module covers a different component of salary negotiation. The first module covers the 12 types of salary raises that I have discovered, and I will take you through each of them. And it also covers the 2 main reasons that employers will give you a raise, and we've already gone through those 2 main reasons in this particular free course series, and that is in lesson number 3. So this goes into a little bit more depth on those 2 main reasons. The next thing is these 8 key elements of the salary raise conversation. I mentioned in lesson number 4, the negotiation is the whole process, but then the actual conversation is what I call the salary raise conversation. So there's 8 key elements you need to know, and those elements are how they'll help you in the preparation. The next stage is where we prepare for the raise conversation. So there's 17 things you need to know beforehand, as well as 5 actions which you need to take. And then there is module number 4 is actually in 2 parts. It's the actual raise conversation, and this is a module which will help you become the master negotiator, and that's in 2 parts. And then we'll go over the follow-up stage in module number 5, and there's 6 actions which you need to take during the follow-up stage, and you need to know all of them. Finally, there is 22 mistakes. If you saw earlier when I talked about the mistakes, there is mistake number 1 and then mistake number 13, and the reason is this 22 mistakes. So I took those 2 key mistakes which I found to be the most prevalent and shared with you in this particular free lesson. But then in the full course in module number 6, we actually go through 22 mistakes that you need to avoid during the salary negotiation process. So let's now go a little bit in depth in each of the modules so that you have a better idea of what's going on. So like I said, module 1 is 12 types of salary increases and the 2 reasons why you get an increase. So this module covers the 2 major reasons as well as the 12 types of raises. Now, when we cover the 12 types, we will look at the advantages of these raises to employees as well as the advantages to the company. And the reason you need to know the advantages to the company is so that you as an employee can know how to utilize that information to your advantage during the salary negotiation. So it's very important for you to know what your employer is thinking about these different types of raises, and this will help you. There is one raise which I want to share with you. It's a bonus raise, and this can happen anytime in the year, especially when you've done really well. And now that we are in drawing closer to the holidays, and the Christmas holidays of course come with their holiday obligations, the bonus is one way that you can get a raise. And this especially is possible to get if you've provided a one-off valuable action which has either saved your company money or made your company money. It was not a continuing result of what you did, but it occurred once. So it's very easy to ask for a bonus instead of asking for a raise. And when you negotiate that way and you understand, okay, the impact I had was one-off, then you're able to negotiate a bonus easier and not say get a continuous raise because this action occurred only once. So it's very important to you know the differences between this particular type of raise and all other kinds of raise. So we go into module number 2. There are the 8 key elements of the salary raise conversation, and if you've seen, I've talked about one of them a lot here, and that is the target number. You need to know the target number, and we go into depth of the target number as well as the other elements in this particular module. And understanding these elements is very instrumental in preparing for the raise conversation. The next module that we go into is module 3, where we cover 17 things you need to know and 5 actions which you need to take. This module is in the 2 sections where we do the 17 things, and one of those things is when do you ask for a raise, when do you not ask for a raise. The other key thing is who has the authority to make the decision for that raise, and then you need to identify and showcase your marketability and skills quickly and easily. And then there are the other 13 that I will be sharing with you as well. Then in section 2 we go over 5 things you need to do, and that's one and I've discussed both of them here in this free 5-part series. One, how to set up the raise conversation, as well as how to calculate your worth in the company. So module 4 is the 2-part module, and this particular module has 5 sections, and it teaches you how to be professional throughout the negotiation process, throughout the salary raise conversation. So we go through in section 1 the step-by-step order that I recommend, how you follow the 8 elements which we learned in module 2 of the full course. Then we have an outline or a structure of your presentation during the raise conversation, as well as in section 3 of this particular module, we go over sample negotiation scripts as well as professional tips during the conversation. Then we go over handling objections, which I discussed. There is actually the 12 objections which I told you about, and then handling a counter offer. So your boss is likely going to give you a counter offer, or may give you a counter offer. So how do you handle that? So that is in this particular module. So module 4 part 1 is section 1 and 2. Module 4 part 2 covers section 3, 4 and 5. Remember, and this is very important, the actual raise conversation begins from the moment you request your boss for a meeting. You set that appointment, you ask to review your salary, and you need to remember this very, very clearly, because from that time on you are in your employer's spotlight, and it's important for you to know how to handle this whole time and period professionally, and you need to be as professional as possible. So just remember that. But then this particular module of course covers the actual conversation, but the whole raise process is from the day you actually ask for that appointment. Module 5, we cover the 6 actions you need to take, and I already told you one action that you need to take is if you have gotten a raise, you need to have it in writing, and there's 5 other actions which are important, and we go into all these actions in detail. Then finally we go over the 22 worst mistakes, and I already outlined the 2 major ones in this particular lesson. And the other modules, what they've done is we focused on what you need to do. This module focuses on what you should not do, what you need to avoid, and this is a very important module to go over. So how is this course delivered? This course is delivered in different formats, but first I have to say you have to have an email address, because the email is the model of communication that you'll be receiving information about this course. And so what will happen is you will have 1 year access to a student portal, and this student portal opens on 1st December, so that's all the way through 30th November 2019. So you have that 1 full year of access to this particular student portal. So in there there's going to be PDF delivery. So you will get the PDFs in that student portal, but I will also tell you that immediately you join, you will also get PDFs in your email, but I'll explain that shortly in a few minutes. But in that student portal you get PDFs which you can download. Then you'll have all these videos of the salary negotiation mastery course you will have all of them, and you will be able to download them into your phone or into your computer. So even if you do not have access to the module, if you've downloaded the videos, you can keep them forever, as well as downloadable audios for each of the modules. And that will be in the student portal, and that will open on 1st December 2018. So the value of this course, you've already seen it. It's quite extensive. We've already seen you can double your salary in the very short term, and that we discussed in lesson number 2 of this free course, where you double your salary in a new job. It's very easy to do that, and I explained it. If you didn't see lesson 2, go back and see that. The next thing is, in that same lesson 2, I taught you how you can grow your career earnings by more than 10 times, actually much more. So that's another thing which you already know, and that's if you do the negotiation right. The other thing is, you get the step-by-step clarity on the process of negotiation, and I've already taken you through each of these modules, and you've seen how valuable they are. And in comparison to other education, how much would you think this particular course would be? You have your MBAs, there's the diplomas, certificates. These are courses which take years, and they are valuable, but these particular courses teach you a particular skill, and this salary negotiation mastery course actually teaches you the skill of how you negotiate with your boss, and you get the returns immediately. So because of how this is delivered, and because this has to reach so many people, while this course I can easily share it with you for in excess of 20, 30, 40,000 shillings, that is something which for maybe not most people will be able to put aside that kind of money immediately. Obviously, the holidays are coming up. There's always issues that are coming up, and so I looked at how can we create a fair system, a way that most people can get access to this course. And that's why I decided to put the full price of the salary negotiation mastery course at only 6,495 shillings, and this is an amount which you can actually get. You invest in the course, and within a few months, a month or two, you have already gotten your salary increase if you actually implement the step-by-step the steps that I outline throughout the course. But for the next week, for the next few days until 23rd of November, Friday at 11:59, there's a special 25% off offer discount. So the course will be only 4,895 shillings, and that's until 11:59 p.m. Friday 23rd November 2018. And like I said, you return this investment immediately. If you negotiate right, if you can prove your value, you can return this immediately. So this is how valuable this course is to you. I give you the course, you get the PDF downloads immediately. So how do we deliver this course? So like I said, you must have an email address, because that's the first basic way to access the course. So you pay 4,895 shillings via M-Pesa to 0725791984. That's my number, David Karanja, and you immediately you do that. This is an important step. You send the M-Pesa code, you send your name, and you send your email address. Without your email address, a valid email address, it's not possible to access the course. So if you don't have one, I really recommend you open an email address. It's free to open, and you send that via WhatsApp or an SMS message to that same number, and then within 5 to 10 minutes you will receive via email the 6 modules in PDF format. So even if 1st December has not reached, you get immediate access to PDF or the PDF format of the 6 modules immediately, which you download and you begin to study, and then the videos will come in the student portal when you access it. And like I said, on 30th November 2018, you receive the access to the online student portal where you have all the downloadable videos, all the downloadable audios, as well as the PDFs. And with that, you register using the email address that you provided, and you will also be accessing the student portal via the email address that you provided. So like I said, your email address is extremely important, and that's how you access this particular course. So there are also some exciting bonuses that I have for you. This course, I decided to give you 3 particular bonuses. Bonus 1 is the first 20 students to enroll. I will actually go over a 30-minute consultation call with each one of those first 20 students, so you get a call with me. And what will happen is I'll ask you to go through the PDFs, which I'll have sent you an email, and then we go over how can we get you a salary increase based on the knowledge that you have. The second bonus is a module that will talk about fears of salary negotiation that people have during this process, and I will take you through all those fears. And you know, for many job seekers, negotiation is obviously frightening. For people who are even in jobs, it's uncomfortable, and it's probably because you've not been taught how to negotiate right. You're afraid so that you don't look, because maybe you don't want to look greedy or ungrateful. You don't want to question an authority figure, or potentially you don't want to make your employer angry. But like I said, salary negotiation, if you have a good employer, they expect it from you. They will not give you an increase from the bottom of their heart, so you actually get what you ask for. So we actually go through how you overcome the fears that you have, and there's quite a number that we are going to go through. And finally, there is one very good bonus module, especially if you work in a big company, in a multinational, if you work in a company that is listed on the stock exchange, or it's a global company as well. There is a bonus module on the 13th and 14th type of salary raise, which you can actually get. And this one, it's only for those who come on board, and I will share this particular raises, these 2 types, and they are very interesting, and they can actually earn you a lot of money for a very, very long period of time throughout your career. So once again, this is the full course. You have the module 1, the 12 types of salary raises and the 2 main reasons why employers will give you a raise. Module 2, the 8 key elements of the salary raise conversation. Module 3, preparing for the raise conversation, the 17 things which you need to know and the 5 actions to take. Module 4, it's in 2 parts. That's the master negotiator module, where we go over the actual raise conversation, and we have scripts of the actual conversation potentially that you will have with your employer. Module 4 is your follow-up stage and the 6 actions which you need to take. And module 6 is the 22 mistakes to avoid during the negotiation process. And finally, there is the 3 bonuses. The first 20 students, you get a call with me for 30 minutes, and we discuss your salary negotiation strategy and the course. And then there is the bonus module on overcoming fears, and finally the 13th and 14th type of raise. So you have until Friday 23rd November 11:59 to get that special offer, 25% off price, and that is going to mean you get the course and all these modules and all these bonuses for 4,895 shillings. And you know that you yourself, you already know you can return this investment within the first negotiation that you do. If you have a good employer and you prepare well, you definitely can return this, and you will actually grow your income by 10 times possibly throughout your career. So I look forward to seeing you in the salary negotiation mastery course. So right now, I recommend, if you want to join, You can use this free course, but if you want to get all these modules, you want to get the bonuses, I recommend join immediately and get the PDFs. And on 1st of December 2018, you will have access to the student portal, and you'll be able to go through all those PDFs, all those videos, all those audios, which are downloadable. So you can actually even use them on your phone, download them to your phone. And the process, again, I said, is pretty simple. Make sure you have your valid email address, pay the amount to that number, that's my number. And in step 2, you need to send the M-Pesa code, your first and last name, and your email address, your correct email address, to that number. And then within 5 to 10 minutes, you get the 6 module PDFs, which you can download and begin to study those modules. And then step number 4 is on 30th November, you get the access to the student portal with all the downloadable videos, all the downloadable audios, all the PDFs, and you also have access to all the bonus material immediately on once you have access in the student portal. I therefore look forward to seeing you in the full salary negotiation mastery course. I wish you all the best in your career. If you have any questions or comments, email learning@craneconsultinghouse.com. But otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in the full course, and I wish you the best in your career.